inside Russia's creepy sports farms.
This is called sub-soccer. I've been watching it nearly every day for weeks. Not because it's thrilling, it's not, but because of this guy with the orange shoe.
Not because it's thrilling. Watching people sit and just kick a soccer ball 3 feet in front of them.
Because of this guy with the orange shoes. He played in a game on April 3rd, then another the next morning, and another right after that. While he scored dozens of goals, I never once saw him celebrate. Because he's not playing to win.
He looks exhausted. Like when you watch blackjack dealers on like online casinos. I feel so bad when you watch that. A lot of people probably don't relate to that. You watch like an online blackjack dealer at like 1 in the morning, bro. They look like they're being forced to be there. Like fucking falling asleep. I remember there was one day I was with my friends and we were doing like a little like house party at one of my friends' house. And we were like, oh, let's play like Baccarat. And the woman that was dealing was like falling asleep. And people in the chat were like, what the fuck is happening right now? Anyways.
Neither are these people playing cricket, basketball, volleyball, water polo, tennis, and table tennis. 5-on-5, 4-on-4, 3-on-3, and 2-on-2 soccer. These so-called frostball players aren't playing to win, nor are the guys playing...
What the fuck is frostball? Basketball and ice skates?
...to win, nor are the guys playing whatever you call this. They're playing on fake teams with familiar names, in anonymous buildings without spectators, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 300...
Is it for betting? Like, what is the purpose of these people playing sport? They're getting paid to just play sports nonstop?
165 days a year, solely to give people like you and me...
Oh my God, it is for betting. But how do they determine odds of like amateur players? It's their job to bet so they know how good they are. But there's no motivation to win. This is very schemy. This is very schemy. I understand like they're getting hired. I don't know why anybody would bet on this. Because they don't want to win. They're just getting paid to play. They're not getting paid to win. I mean, they might be getting more to win.
Something to gamble on. These are sports betting farms.
They had this kind of Squid Game quality to them. Surely this can't be legal.
But they aren't hidden on some shadowy part of the internet. They're on a site called 1xBet, probably the most profitable online gambling site ever, and a sponsor of world-famous soccer clubs.
They're the
No!
company that everybody
I've never heard of this company.
else in illegal gambling would really love to be.
So how does a company taking bets on games like these end up partnering with clubs like these?
Money. Money. If you could literally be a company that does absurdly illegal things, and if you threw enough money at the NFL, the NBA, the NHL, whatever you want to do, they'll be like, yeah, we'll put your logo on our shirt, no matter how sketchy it is. Like that's why they always say like everything has a price. At some point, there's so much money involved that they're just going to be like, yeah, sure. Who the fuck's betting on that, though? Like, I sports bet. I've done sponsorships with DraftKings, but you only bet on, like, professional sports. Who the fuck's betting on, like, seeded foot soccer? Like, I wonder how much money they even get revenue-wise off those bets. I would feel so convinced they rig it, too. Like, because if I'm betting on a non-professional league, wouldn't you think that they could just have me wear it? Say I'm a sub-soccer player, and I'm going against one guy, and I'm winning 3-2, and some dude puts 10 grand on me, they could just go throw, and I just lose the game. Like, I have no motivation to win, and they're probably going to pay me more if I just, I'm only hired because I'll listen to what they want.
The online gambling industry
rug pull.
is a lot like an iceberg. A portion of bets are placed on legal sites like DraftKings that follow laws and pay taxes, but the majority are placed on illegal sites that don't. Last year, $23 billion went to legal companies, while $67 billion went to illegal ones.
Mistake.
Just in the United States. Somewhere in the middle is 1xBet.
All bets on sports.
It was founded in 2007 in Russia, registered in Cyprus, and licensed only in...
Stake's illegal? Well, no, stake's not illegal. Actually, I don't know. Are you able to use stake legally within the United States without a VPN? Stake might be similar to 1xBet where it like tiptoes the line. Stake isn't based in the United States, and US-based gambling sites have to follow a lot of different rules and regulations. Like DraftKings has to follow like rigorous laws within states to even be able to be approved to be a sports betting app. Like when I do sponsorships for them, I have to specifically mention like, hey, if it's not available in your state, you can still do fantasy, but you can't sports bet. Like in DraftKings, this part's not sponsored. I'm just showing you to like show something. They have DraftKings. Where is it available? They have like a map where you can see, look, like you only can do DraftKings sports betting in the green states. You're still able to play like fantasy and other shit, but they have to each state has its own ruling on what's allowed and what's not allowed. And it's some is more regulated than others or more like rigorously against certain things. Like one that's really hard, one that has a lot of sports betting and a lot of gambling in general. New Jersey and Nevada are like some of the highest gambling based states because we have Atlantic City and they have Vegas, right? So in New Jersey, gambling is very, very like used by almost everybody I know. Like mainly men gamble a lot more than women, but like every guy I know gambles. Like every guy I know gambles. If you went to a different state, there's still probably a lot of men that do gamble, but it's a lot more prominent in New Jersey because we have Atlantic City. We have so many online sports betting apps. They're still highly regulated and it's hard to get approved in them, but states seek out New Jersey and Nevada because they have so many gamblers.
It was founded in 2007 in Russia, registered in Cyprus, and licensed only in Curacao, but accessible basically anywhere with internet. Initially, it only offered sports betting, but quickly added casino games like blackjack, poker.
I think a telltale is usually when the primary money to get access to the site is crypto. Not that crypto's not safe. I think crypto is getting a mainstream space. But when the currency used to gamble is not US dollars or your own country's currency and you're gambling in Bitcoin or Ethereum or Solana or, you know, any of those, that's when it gets like why it gets sketchy because now you're not filtering that in a way that's also being shown to the government as well, where you're also probably not even going to pay taxes on your winnings. You're going to try and keep that in a crypto wallet that's undisclosed.
And slots. Then some questionable games. In 2019, UK investigators found 1xBet had a Pornhub casino with topless dealers and took bets on children's sports and even cockfighting. After that, several countries blocked 1xBet, but couldn't stop it.
1xBet had a period in time where they were allowing cockfighting.
1xBet set up hundreds of mirror sites to redirect its users around the restrictions to its main site. 1xBet also took bets on some amateur sports, mainly soccer. But in 2020, when the pandemic shut down all professional live sports, it added a lot more.
Okay, betting on like a little league game though, that's kind of, okay, it's like fucked, but that's like, bro, like you're betting on kids t-ball on who's going to win the game. There's not even, how do you make up odds on how good Timmy's going to do today?
Some were normal. Others were bizarre. But at the time, they were the only...
I've never even heard of frostball in my life. Is this a sport that existed prior to 1xBet? Or is that something they made for, like, betting itself?
Reporters at Yasimer were among the first to investigate these fake competitions. But they wanted to know more. Where are they? Who are these players? And is any of it legal?
We can find just about anything. The Russian Secret Service, the poisonings in Salisbury, the MH17 crash over eastern Ukraine.
Ross Higgins works at Bellingcat as an open source investigator, meaning he uses publicly available services like satellites, leaked databases, and even good old Google Maps to find stuff out. In 2023, a Yasimer reporter named Philippe Auclair asked Ross for help locating the live streams.
I went and met Philippe in London in a pub, and about 4 hours later, I decided that I really wanted to do this.
Over 24 hours, Ross and his team downloaded hundreds of live streams off 1xBet, then scanned them for clues.
What we're hoping for are tons of banners, player names on the back of shirts, any little hook to give us a clue where we can narrow it down.
Some, like the ads surrounding this 4x4 soccer game, were easy because they're in Russian. Ross's team uploaded a screenshot to the Russian search engine Yandex and did a reverse image search, which turned up this photo. These roller doors match. So do these windows. And these graphics match those in a social media post about a children's soccer game. Confirmation that this sports betting farm is at...
It also just sucks because, like, this is so appealing to these guys because you're just getting paid to play soccer games.
the Alexander Stepan Football School.
Even if it is shitty wages, like, you're doing a job that's more usually seen as fun.
In Bryansk, Russia.
It is dystopian, though.
We figured out
It sounds lit. Yeah, until you're on your 100th soccer game against the same fucking team with a different name, like, in the same day.
it was kind of curtained off into 3 sections because balls were being kicked into
This doesn't even look fun to watch. They look like they're out. They look like they're just lethargic.
other people's games and stuff, and all of a sudden a 2-year-old just toddles on to the pitch.
Shockingly, 1xBet didn't offer any bets on him.
You're not allowed to bet that he'll score a goal.
Ross's team used this process, called geolocation, to link these banners to the Mordovia Sports Complex in Saransk, this mural to the Savoy Arena in Kyiv, Ukraine, and this tennis court to the Avant Club in Minsk, Belarus. Thanks to this Vince Carter mural, it only took me 10 minutes to confirm that the Canadian Beavers were playing the Chinese Dragons in St. Petersburg, Russia. But not every game had easy clues.
I don't think anybody's seeing that, though, and going, yeah, these guys play for China. Like, these guys are playing for the Chinese Dragons.
But not every game had easy clues. So Ross turned to the 1,000 volunteers in Bellingcat's Discord channel for help. One used these discolored tent panels to place a soccer game at a venue in Moscow. And another used the time, date, and direct...
Bro, right now, do you think they have it 24 hours a day? He said 365 days a year. That means right now there's, like, fucking sub-soccer games going on that you could bet on.
...of these shadows to place this cricket match somewhere in Western India.
And in Russia, it's probably, like, midnight.
Some people are just really talented. They're able to find clues that other people don't pick up on, which is what we're all about, really.
Ultimately, Bellingcat linked games to 16 venues, mostly in Eastern Europe. Not so surprising because 1xBet was founded in Russia, but strange because it's banned there. Things got more interesting when they looked into the players.
I mean, dude, some of these players look like they're like 15. Like, these guys look like high school, college students. Like, they're like 19. Like, they look like kids.
This floorball team and this super intense tennis player
I mean, like, this guy looks old.
seem to really care, but most, like my favorite sub-soccer player, don't. Some seem exhausted. One referee was too careless to call this blatant carry foul. It's probably because they're at their jobs, or more likely their second jobs. Philippe the Yasser.
Damn, dude, this is their side hustle. Like, instead of, like, Uber Eats and fucking DoorDash, they have to, like, get out of their fucking 9 to 5 and then go play soccer.
A reporter tracked
But
down
not for fun.
a Russian man they called Dmitry, who said he was hired to play football at one farm for about $30 a day.
$30 a day? That's fucking ass. 5 goals was the maximum, and if you scored more, you would get less money. So they pay you less if you overperform, so they try to keep the games close. Oh my God. If you score 5 goals, you don't score anymore. Oh my God. So they have to keep the games close so it promotes people to bet. Because if you're shutting out the other team, nobody's ever going to place any money on them. You only want to place bets on games that are like almost 50-50. It was the rule, so we always did maximum 5 goals. I think we were doing it for the purposes of under betting. Yeah. I heard that one tournament at that time was generating about 1 million rubles for 1xBet. $15,000 a game? Or one tournament made
Football
$15K.
at one farm for about $30 a day. He played 6 or 7 games in a shift that lasted from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m.
9 a.m. to 2 p.m. You played 6 or 7 games. So you get a 5-hour shift. You're playing nonstop. You're playing. Are they playing? They're not playing 90-minute matches though.
Quit after just a week.
Generally speaking, we're talking about people who just want a job for a few weeks. It sounds like a lot of fun, and I guess for some of them, the reality hits home fairly quickly and they don't last very long.
Dimitri said,
Yeah, I think it seems like a fun job, and then you actually end up doing it, and it's just like, oh, this is ass. Because there's no part of the fun of sports is the competition, but they're mitigating your level to compete, and you're coming off of an already long workday. $30 though for a 5-hour. Are they getting $30 for a 5-hour shift? Because that's fucking terrible. That's $6 an hour to play soccer. $30 is a lot. Canicles, are you on crack? You're getting $6 an hour. Oh, that's terrible. That's not good. That's not a good wage. I don't care. You could say I'm a fucking idiot for that. I don't think anybody's sitting there going, that's a good wage. Same thing when I was in Mexico, I was talking about this. Dude, they get paid like $3 an hour. That's fuck. I understand the cost of living's different, but oh my God.
around the clock, 7 days a week. And Ross's team counted 1,297 short football games over 24 hours. That's nearly 500,000 games a year of just short football.
Bro, but they're like walking around. I feel like I'm watching people play during PE.
Short football.
This looks terrible. To have fun for $30 is good. Brother, you're there for 5 hours and you're probably not having fun. I don't understand how there's people in my chat that are saying they would want to do this. I think you say it on paper, yeah, you're getting paid to play soccer, and then you actually do it, and like third day in, you're gonna be like, bro, I'm working 5 hours to get paid $30. I'm not allowed to actually compete, and everybody's lethargic. It would be like playing like a shitty PE game.
Dimitri also said he was instructed to never score more than 5 goals in a match, and believed some were totally fixed.
Oh, fucking for sure. What? Oh my God. Hey, boss, I'll give you another 10 if you throw the game. Oh, yeah, okay, sure. And you just fucking walk around.
Do you have any sense that these games are rigged?
I'm not sure.
Oh my God. If they're not rigged, 1xBet is stupid. Like, I would say I'm not saying they should rig the game. But, like, that's the only reason I see them doing this.
Exactly what the purpose of rigging these games would be so much. What we've been told is that the main purpose of these games is that they're just a very fast turnaround. And it's just this relentless grind to get as much cash out of you as they can.
It's possible that not every player is being paid, though. Bellingcat
What? Like, some people are just doing it and getting no money?
traced this floorball game to a Russian website that listed the players' ages as young as 14 years old. And I know
So, do you think they're just, like, somehow paying whoever's putting on this game? Like, this might be just, like, a high school game. That's what I'm confused about. This might just literally be, like, a Russian high school volleyball match that they're recording and putting on 1xBet illegally.
noticed these volleyball players look pretty young, too. A Sports Illustrated report says South Asian people are commonly trafficked into Russian cricket leagues. But it's difficult to find out more because these players don't work directly for
This also isn't cricket. Like, they're just hitting. They're not running.
1xBet. Instead, they work for a handful of companies that organize, stream, and license these games to 1xBet, many of which are also based in Cyprus, making it really hard to judge whether or not they're doing things legally.
These are companies that kind of exist in the shadows. In order to catch them out with anything, you'd have to see what the rules are in any particular jurisdiction. Is a grey area, basically.
Okay, so we've established that 1xBet is making a ton of money.
Bro, and 1xBet is a sponsor of, like, pro FIFA teams. Like, pro football teams. Like, that's like, yeah, like PSG, dude.
Definitely half-assed amateur games. But I still find it hard to believe that many people are actually placing bets on them.
That's what I'm saying. I would assume 99% of 1xBet players are just betting on actual, like, pro league sports. Or just gambling at their casinos, like roulette or fucking blackjack, slots, like any of those base games. I would assume that's what people are doing. I don't, and even then, like, if they're making $15K in a whole day's tournament, that's actually pretty bad for a casino company. Like, casinos make an ass ton of money. If you're making $15K on a game, that's pretty good.
It's not about the betting on this stuff. It's any content converts.
Ismail Valley monitors the illegal gambling industry.
So they're saying just the variety of stuff they have attracts people to make their gambling site seem more appealing to new users.
He confirmed that these amateur games generate only a small number of bets, and that 1xBet makes less than 10% profit on them. But 1xBet hosts them because they're really good at grabbing people's attention, a lesson the company learned during the pandemic.
So they started looking for other content, and what they came up with...
Wow, they're dead-ass doing, like, anime filler. Like, they're doing, it's filler shit. It's just there to be like, oh, there's so many options. And so it's more appealing. It's like walking into a casino and there's, oh my God. It's like when you walk into a casino and there's 10,000 slot machines, half of them are never used. Like if you ever go, if in your life, if you ever walk into a casino, just walk around. You don't even need to gamble. Just walk around and you'll see, like, say there's 500 casino slot games. Only like 200 to maybe 250 of them are ever played. The majority of casino slots or casino machines in Vegas, in Atlantic City, in any like gambling city or casino in general are duds. Like they get maybe 4 bets a day. The machine's losing money being there. It's just like, oh my God, there's so many options, bright colors. This keeps me attracted. But every time you go to the casino, you're only going to play 1 of 5 slot machines.
Crazy things like snail racing from Vietnam.
I would bet on that. I bet on a crab race when I was in St. Martin. Yeah, I would bet on that.
And then they found people were clicking on it on social media and betting on it too.
Videos of obscure sports played well on social media too. And by taking bets on them, 1xBet can attract a lot of new customers. Basically, they're clickbait.
Yeah, clickbait. You're only going to bet on snail racing once, but now you're like, I have 1xBet. I'll just use it in general. Like that'll be my new platform.
And once a customer clicks in, 1xBet persuades them to play casino games, where it can make up to a 50% profit.
The whole point of why we did any of this, cross-sell the customer immediately into casino, into poker, into predictors. Now you're in a whole area where you can double, treble your money kind of thing.
Amateur sports also keep customers from leaving. See, casino games are hard to win. They're purely games of chance, red or black. Once a customer loses enough money, they'll lose confidence and quit, unless 1xBet offers them something easier to win. In sports games, one team is the favorite, and the favorite usually wins. So having sports betting is
yeah, but the margins are terrible, dude. That's why whenever I see like, I mean, it's like the better strategy technically because you're bound to win money over time. No, you're not bound. No, I take that back. You're not bound to win money over time. Overall, if you play casino games, the house always has an edge on you. You will always lose money. Over an infinite amount of time, you will never actually profit. Even if you profit in the short term, that needs to be said. Even though I've done sponsorships with like DraftKings and shit, overall, you will lose money gambling in general, right? You're never gonna have an edge in an infinite amount of time, in an infinite prize pool or an infinite pool of time. But what I was gonna say is when you're doing like bets on sports, and if you don't know how it works, like the minus is the favor. So if you're looking at an MMA fight, there's one tomorrow. And say, you know, one fighter has minus 350 odds and one has plus 350. If you bet $100 on minus 300, you're only going to get like $20 or $30 back in profit. So you're wagering 100 to win 30. If you wager 100 on the plus 300 guy, he's probably not going to win the fight. But if you win $300. So you get way more money. And so the majority of bets in sports betting are usually placed on either the most popular team or the one that's going to profit the most in a case of an upset. Like people like betting on upsets because it has higher profitability and it's more interesting to bet for an underdog than a guy that's bound to win. And then they get into even more niche things. So like when I bet on MMA fights, I'll bet on the favor, but I'll bet on favor on, this is not advice by the way, I'll bet on favor on the way that they'll win. So say I'm betting on like a submission guy. I'll bet that he'll win the fight in round 1 by submission. And so even if he's minus 750 for the fight, that'll be a plus 300 bet. And so it's like, because that makes it more interesting for me. Because if I wager $500 on a guy and I only profit $55 back, it's not a fair, like, it's not as rewarding in your brain. And so that's why humans are less likely to do that. That's why they also keep the games more even and give you high or like 5 goal max per player, because they want to keep the games even so people want to bet.
Way to give a customer their confidence back and keep them gambling. The more niche
Like the games that get a lot of the money revenue-wise are like NFL games where it's like plus 120 minus 150, something like that. Where it's like almost dead even, to where if you bet on a guy, you're bound to almost double your money or more.
sport, the more addictive it is.
You'll get a certain type of customer.
Parlays on easy bets are also extremely exciting for players. Yeah. A lot of players will make like the 20 leg parlay of like minus 300 odd bets because they're all bound to hit, but one of them will miss and then you'll lose.
Who gets very particular about, I'm really good at that cockfighting stuff. I'm really good at snail racing and children's basketball. So I want more of that content because you feel safer with it.
I mean, to me, it feels predatory, right?
Yeah, I mean, traditionally in gambling, you need to have some knowledge of the sport. How can you have knowledge of table basketball between 2 random teenagers in a warehouse somewhere in St. Petersburg? It's kind of taking all the fun and sporting element out of...
It's not even the fun and sporting element on the knowledge. Like, I think a big part is, yeah, sports betting is very fun when you know the teams and you know the players. But it's also just they don't want to win. Why would I bet on somebody that doesn't want to win? If they don't care. Like, if I bet on an MMA fight and the guy on his walkout was, like, sulking and dragging his feet, I'd be like, oh, this fucking sucks. Like, you want them to be hype and angry and motivated.
Any of this.
That ability to draw and keep gamblers in is a big reason why 1xBet features so many amateur sports, and why companies are farming as many games as possible, not only for 1xBet anymore, but for thousands of illegal gambling sites.
You'll see the same feeds that you see on 1xBet in many places. When crime makes money, what does crime do with money? More crime.
So the internet has made it easier than ever to set up an illegal gambling shop. And as shady as they are, it'll be a hard problem to fix. But it gets a lot harder when the world's best soccer clubs are helping them grow even bigger.
1xBet isn't
Are
licensed
we going to say this is money laundering?
to operate in Spain or France, but it has sponsorship deals with FC Barcelona, Paris Saint-Germain, and Lille, as well as the top division of Italian football and the Confederation of African Football. The trade-off is obvious. 1xBet can offer these organizations more money than anyone else, and these organizations can put 1xBet's brand in front of more fans than anyone else. But the clubs and leagues seem to be ignoring the growing list of controversies surrounding 1xBet and not asking many questions about it. On Barcelona's website, the club's vice
Because it's making so much money, dude. That's what I was saying in the beginning. There's a price for everything. If they're getting paid billions of dollars, why would they care?
president calls 1xBet a benchmark brand, right above a quote from a 1xBet spokesperson who calls Barcelona a reliable partner. Ross's team looked up this spokesperson named Alex Summers and found this headshot,
He doesn't exist. He's like a fucking PNG image.
which actually belongs to a journalist at CNN.
Oh my God, it's a fake guy.
This is something FC Barcelona could have easily figured out.
What I don't understand is that surely these football clubs must have some form of due diligence. So who are they speaking to that the public can't get hold of?
Oh no, they know. they know. Right? Like, I think it's on like smaller scale stuff when it's like with like Honey and influencers, like they didn't do the due diligence. Well, even if they did do the due diligence, they just didn't know. When you're fucking FC Barcelona and you're working with 1xBet, they know. They just don't care.
All seems to me to be very cloak and dagger.
And it's happening all over the sport, more than ever. In 1999, one club in the English Premier League had a gambling company sponsor on its shirt. In 2025, 11 do. Gambling companies are all
Well, you also got to think, and that's not even illegal companies. Sports gambling fuels the sports industry. Like sports in general have pivoted from marketing to like regular random brands for viewership and fully to people gambling on their games because it creates a viewer that's always going to watch and it makes the company way more fucking money. I don't like that. I mean, that's just how it is. Even in US sports, like the NBA, like they full focus on where they're building places, how they're doing things, how they set up their leagues off of like the majority of the money, not majority, a big chunk of the money we're going to make is from like sports betting. I'm telling you right now, the level of money these pro athletes would make, that's just my own take. You can disagree with me. I think pro athletes today and companies in general within the sports leagues, they would generate drastically less revenue without sports betting. Like they would not make nearly as much money. Like these companies specifically, didn't we watch a video on how like the Dallas Mavericks is getting bought out by like casino billionaires for the sole purpose of fueling sports gambling and their casino enterprise? Like there are sports teams that are being bought up by casino billionaires for the purpose of fueling their economy. They don't care about the sport. Owners of sports, that's why like when you see these trades happen in teams like this, like people are like, my team doesn't care anymore. My team's getting worse. I could tell the higher ups don't care. It's because they don't. It's because your guy probably got bought out by, or at least sold some of his ownership to a dude that no longer cares about the sport and is only there for the point of making his team make money, not actually win, right? There's a difference there.
FIFA Club World Cup. They also pay millions to advertise on fields and TV broadcasts. Many of these sites operate in the same gray area as 1xBet, but it's easy for them to obtain a license in, say, the UK, sponsor a Premier League club, and get promoted all over the world, even in places they're banned. Illegal gambling is laundering its money through soccer, and it's coming at a steep cost for the sport and for its fans.
Crime has gone full circle on this to basically say, we're not just corrupting sports by offering everybody tons of cash here, we're also corrupting it by just bringing you stuff that you think is sports, but it's not sports. We made it all up.
All right, thanks so much for watching. That's our
I loved that video. That was awesome. Gambling companies should not be able to sponsor or be involved with sporting in any official capacity. It's a disgrace. I will disagree with that but I'll agree on non-regulated gambling companies. Like when UFC fights or like MMA takes like sponsorships from companies that aren't, legal in the United States, I think that's a lot different. If you're betting on games like this, you need help ASAP. Here in Russia, I have a couple of friends who play volleyball on one of these farms targeted towards the Chinese bettors. They're paid about $12 per game and are updated on what teams need to win/lose according to the incoming bets. They're happy, though, because they're not good enough to play professionally, but they can make money playing their favorite sport. Bro, but $12 a game is fucking ass. How long are the games? And they're updated on what team needs to win or lose according to the incoming bets, so it's just straight up scheming. It's a scam. He's saying that these people are taking the money. I'm not mad at the players, but like 1xBet or whoever's running this fucking league is basically saying, hey, we have $1,000 on this team, lose. 1xBet is also a prolific sponsor of esports organizations and clubs. 1xBet not being allowed in the U.S. when CS2 Austin Major was held, teams sponsored by 1xBet. Bro, CS2 teams were sponsored by 1xBet. Major reward on their shirts instead of 1xBet. One team they sponsored, the Mongols, made the Major's grand final. Whoa.